Okay, we're talking about the economic stimulus package, and we started talking about the North Shore Connector project, the tunnel under the Allegheny River. Let's talk a little bit more about that. When this whole thing first came up, there was federal money available. The Port Authority Board and others said, well, we have a project here. We want to extend light rail over to the north side. We should apply for that funding. So there was competition for the funding among various municipalities in the country. Port Authority happened to win, Allegheny County won, so they get this money, and it's, well, they're going to dig the tunnel under the Allegheny River. Now, because of the cost overruns that everybody had predicted in the first place, because of these cost overruns, there may not be enough money to finish the project. So what are our options here, really? I mean, can we just stop doing it?
No, you couldn't. I mean, because the money was earmarked for that. It wasn't earmarked, but it was programmed for
dedicated for that. Yeah.
Dedicated for that project.
Right.
Now, once you commit to that project, if you want to change it, it's not like the feds said, well, you could take that money and you could spend it anywhere you want. We went to the feds saying this was our priority, and understand this occurred, a decade or so ago, or nearly that, when there was a lot of development going on the North Shore. We put new stadiums, all the other infrastructure over there. The feeling was they wanted to connect it with downtown. So that became the priority.
So we made the priority
for the city and the county.
But
they made that the priority.
That's what I want to know. What do we do now? I mean, do we have to spend the money to complete this thing? And where's it going to come from? The economic stimulus package, maybe?
We don't have the money to finish it identified. But understand, so that money was available for that project. We couldn't have said, well, we're going to change our mind and spend it on something else.
That.
So the choice now is to not finish it and to leave it filled with water, I guess. I mean, that's a choice. It's probably not a very good choice. Probably the smart thing to do is to recognize that Pennsylvania's got $400 million coming from the feds for mass transit infrastructure, and we ought to take a look at it. And in terms of cost overruns, I mean, I don't like cost overruns either, but I just want to put this in perspective. I've got sewage projects in my district that over the last 2 or 3 years, when we, until we got them started, they escalated in 40% over 2 years. So almost any infrastructure project, not just this tunnel, but any private or public construction costs have driven up
I think this package, according to an article I read earlier in the week, this stimulus package also mandates that all these projects are done at prevailing wage rates. So that's going to escalate costs further.
All the projects in the state that are done with public dollars, it is the public policy in this state and most others that those jobs be done at prevailing wage rates, okay?
Which are like 20 or 30% above market.
That ensures that you have quality labor doing a good job. You bring projects in, on time in a timely fashion. I mean, that is established law and public policy that I don't see being changed.
That may be bad policy that might be changing too, because a lot of construction companies now have the same workers doing jobs. Some of them are union jobs, some of them are not. They're the same construction crews and the same equipment doing these jobs. It just doesn't make any sense. That might be changing. But what you're saying about this, and I know you're not responsible, but I think Glenn would agree with me on this. We knew right from the get-go that there were going to be cost overruns, and yet we went ahead and spent not only the federal money, but county money and state money as well, knowing before we even threw a shovel into the ground that this was not going to work in terms of the budget that they put down.
I don't know that to be a fact. When they started it,
you just described it.
We agree, PJ. You and I agree. That was
only one time.
I agree. We agreed on that.
I have to go to confession tomorrow, Saturday. I'm going to confession.
PJ, whatever happened before happened before. The question is now, what do we do? Okay,
that's another question.
The tunnel's been dug, but it isn't finished. Do we just fill it in and let it fill in with water?
Can I make a comment?
One sentence answer.
In economics, they call it literally the sunk cost fallacy. When you made a bad economic decision, if you let the bad decision in the past guide your future decision,
what do you do with it?
You say, where are we today? Let the thing fill with water and move on. That's the right thing to do, because it's going to cost us money every day it operates for the decades ahead.
And with that, we take another pause. We'll be back with our conversation in just a moment. Don't go away. Don't you dare go away.
Property tax.